Hello, everyone. Welcome to week 3 of our class on coping with stress and violence. I want to thank you for your heartfelt discussion boards and your pamphlets. Really nice work, everybody. Today I wanted to talk about chapter 6 in the PowerPoint presentation because after reading the discussion board and some of the things that you all had written, I was humbled again by the experiences that we all share, oftentimes negative experiences within our classroom and within our school environment. And I'd like to say on this video, I'm so sorry for those of you that have lost students. Some of you may not have experienced this yet, but when I was first starting in education, they had a health class that professors had to take. And coping with stress and violence, was part of that health class. And of course, looking at addiction and all of these things related to students and to educators. And the first thing that the professor said to me, said to all of us, was, you will lose students. And I'd never thought about that before. And it was kind of a shocker to realize that that could happen. And over the 27 years that I've been teaching, I've lost numerous students to car accidents, to suicide, to gang violence, to just incredibly terrible accidents. And it has been hard to cope with such a thing. And oftentimes we're looking at how we're going to provide relief for students and how we're going to provide relief for colleagues and friends, but oftentimes we don't remember to provide relief for ourselves. And one of the topics that I found particularly interesting to think about this week, because you always find something new, when you're teaching, is resiliency. And the slide stated that resiliency is the capacity to adapt and function successfully despite experiencing chronic stress and adversity. Resilience is not a static trait, but it is influenced by both internal and environmental external factors. The development of resiliency is related to 3 areas: social environment, family milieu, culture, individual characteristics, and attributes. And I believe that most of us in education, we have these individual characteristics and attributes that help us to get through these types of situations. We usually have a good support system in our family and in our colleagues. We tend to value what we do as teachers, and we find meaning in life, and therefore can see it as a challenge and a hurdle that we need to overcome. And we also have a lot of empathy that we want to help other people get through these situations. Starting this class in the last few weeks, I've had some pretty traumatic experiences happen that delayed me a little bit from grading and posting. And you probably didn't even notice because you were going about your life as you should be. And I don't want this class to become another stressor for you. But I lost one of my favorite principals this week. He passed away from pancreatic cancer. Just today, my best friend called me and her mom passed away. And this was a woman that I've known and loved since I was 13. And I had to go on about my day. I had to SBAC test with my kids. I had to stay functional and optimistic for them. And I also had to find ways to provide comfort for my friend as she was going through this. And I just think educators, we tend to have this type of resiliency. And I think it's very important that we do have a support system in place for ourselves. It's kind of that old adage, it's cliche now, but it's really true about putting the oxygen mask on yourself before you put the oxygen mask on someone else. And it's wonderful that we want to help children, that we want to be part of our community. But we have to make sure that we take care of ourselves so that we can cope with stress and violence in the community around us. A lot of you were talking about gang violence at your school, and I've also experienced quite a bit of that. The first school that I taught at for 10 years was a high gang violence school. And one of my first serious experiences with it was a carload of gang members was chasing another gang member from the front of our school. I was teaching middle school at the time, so I had 6th graders. We had just let out for the day, and these high school gang members came racing down the street, caught the kid, took a bat and cracked his head, popped it like a grape. And they took off, and I ran over and was holding the child's head together, the teenager's head together, until the paramedics came. And my sixth graders, of course, were crying and distraught. I mean, can you imagine seeing something like that at 11 years old? And I had to, put on oh, he's going to be fine. They're coming. Everybody go back inside. I have licorice in my room. Everything's going to be okay. And keep it together so that I could get my children where they needed to be safely until the paramedics did arrive. The teenager did survive. He was in a coma for 3 months, and when he came out of it, he didn't remember anything about the incident. But, we have to find ways to make traumatic events less traumatic for our children. Sometimes they're dealing with outside events that they come to us because they don't know how to handle it. And a lot of times their parents or their home life doesn't have the resiliency in place to help them get through. And that's where we can come in, and where counselors from our school can come in and offer support where it may be neglected somewhere else. So I just wanted to share that with you this week. I hope you are doing well. Please know that I'm thinking of you, and you can contact me at any time, by phone, by text, by email. I'm here. I love the topics you've all come up with for your research. Really great, and I'm going to really look forward to reading them. And just have a good work week. Love your people, love your family, love your pets, and know that I'm here for you. Okay, have a great day.